All right, okay, let's jump in. All right. How's everyone doing? My name is Dammy. I'll be the host of this awesome SkooJAH AMA chat. I'm excited to be here. It's a big week. It's a big week. You know what I mean? And I'm very excited. Um, I will basically just do some housekeeping. So Orko will be checking out the AMA chat room with questions, and he'll let us know if I find some questions there that are pretty awesome. I'll ask. And Orko, you can also ask the questions as well. I have a few questions already, just to basically get us all started. But what we're going to do here is we're going to get Dan to first give an introduction, and then after we get SkooJAH to give an introduction, and then I'll start off with the questions. So, Dan, please introduce who you are. I think we all know you, but it'll be great for you to start off with an introduction.
Yep. Hey, everybody. My name is Dan Wasyluk. I'm one of the co-founders of the LastKnown platform, also CEO of Blockchain Foundry, and one of the co-founders of the Syscoin protocol. And really excited to be here and chat with all you today.
Huge.
My turn?
Yes, sir.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for being here. My name's Andrew SkooJAH, but I am better known as SkooJAH. I'm glad everybody's here. I'm super stoked for tomorrow, and I've just been dumbfounded by the reaction to this collection. So I think you guys, and maybe everybody knows a bit of my background. I was an advertising designer, web guy, but I've been an artist my whole life. So here's where we take off and LFG the fucker. Sorry for the language.
That's right.
Okay, awesome. Off the bat, thanks for the introduction, Scooch. Off the bat, I've got the first question. Let's talk a little bit about the drop, right? You know what I mean? That's what everyone's here about. Everyone's excited to hear about the drop. So how was the process of the drop? You know what I mean? Now that you've gone through it, and how was it working with LastKnown, Dan, Orko, and the guys? So let's get it.
Well, it was amazing. I mean, this is my first venture into the NFT market. I mean, I was looking at it and interested for a couple of years, and it's how do you do it, right? How do you go? It's like how do you go about that? So I was so happy when LastKnown we talked, because I thought this is the only way, I think, for me, not knowing that whole technology and what to do. It was amazing. They just guided me along the way, and I could be the artist that I wanted to be without having to worry about all the technical side too much.
That's awesome. Let's talk about Babylon Misfits, right? Like, how did it all come together? How tell us the story, the backstory, the back end, everything. Like, just get it.
All right. Well, everybody got 25 years. It's like I mean, I've been drawing these kind of characters forever, and anybody who knows me from my work environment and working as a designer and an ad guy, it was I always sketch these funny looking characters, and I've been sharing them for years. So it's just been sort of part and parcel of who I am. But on my commutes all the time, I knew that the faces, the shapes, the shape of the ear, the nose, the teeth, whatever it might be, always came from people I would see in your daily commute, right? And it sticks in your head, and basically, 20 years later, Babylon Misfits is born. It's the tribe of all of those people mashed together. That's sort of, that's the way I see it always.
No, it's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to pull out a question here from the chat. Orko, so Burnberry's asking, what challenges have you guys had to overcome when putting this amazing project together? So SkooJAH, go first, and then Dan, you can basically come in from the LastKnown side.
Okay, that's a great question. I'll give a technical answer for this one, because I've been using Photoshop since, show my age, since it came out, and so and built a lot of things digitally as a designer and designed that way. So figuring out how to do the artwork and how to create so many layers wasn't a huge hurdle, but how to make sure it goes through the generator and things start to look really, really cool when they come together. That was what really interested me. And I think that's where, it's just a cool way of doing it. And then actually having to create the assets is where I really found a struggle. And you find a lot of different ways, and it was the naming conventions and everything inside the technical part that can really affect the way you creatively explore the NFT art world and this sort of NFT market. As an artist, that's cool. That's my biggest learning. I found I knew how to create the files, but it was understanding, if I do it a certain way, how does that become part of the story? And that was really, really cool.
Dan?
Yeah. So for us, it's been a lot of learning for us because, we are, I don't know, I call us technologists, right? And a lot of us on the team are very familiar with different blockchains and things. And part of the value that LastKnown brings to the table is that, we try to take as much of that, we try to boil off as much as possible of that away from artists so they don't have to really deal with it. That being said, there's still a lot of stuff that requires very close collaboration, like SkooJAH was describing. Creating assets is one thing, but then structuring those assets and naming them such that when they come out as an NFT, you have something with like meaningful properties and rarity that may or may not add value depending on how the artist wants to steer different properties within the collection. All of that kind of stuff is a lot of what we've been going through the learning process around at LastKnown, and stuff that we've created to help improve the efficiencies around that process is really developing things like guides and walkthroughs to help, even from the very first day, engaging with an artist, giving them a snapshot of if you want to use some of the generative capabilities we have, these are some of the file and naming considerations that you have to keep in mind. If you want to do more like numbered mints type of thing, one of 200 and all 200 are like the same image, there are a different set of considerations to keep in mind. And so figuring out the best ways to communicate those materials early on in the process so that we can set the collection off on the right foot from the very first day, rather than having some discussions and getting down a path and then realizing that certain dependencies within that path are not there, such that we couldn't really drop a fully complete NFT collection are things that we've learned as we've gone through the process with a few artists now, and things that we're continuing to hone and refine as we go down the path. Because our goal really is to, just like SkooJAH was saying, and even to an even greater degree than he experienced within his first minting with LastKnown, is really let artists focus on the creative stuff, and even help them with delivering some of the potential physical value that they want to include in their collection as well. And then really letting, LastKnown and our team internally handle everything from the, a majority of the marketing and community building all the way through to the actual deployment of the smart contract on whichever blockchain the artist decides on.
Yeah, and I can add in that part is huge as well. And that's what I really mean from an artist standpoint. There's a lot behind it, and with everybody I know who's coming into the NFT world, either just as a collector, they're finding all these obstacles, which was a great relationship with LastKnown. That's why I'll do tons of collections on LastKnown from now on out.
Oh yeah, I love that. And we're at LastKnown too. This is a little bit of a tangent, but we were just talking about it earlier today. We, the LastKnown team, are always trying to find ways to add more value and long-term utility to these mintings that come through on the platform. And so, one of the things we were discussing earlier is adding a fairly standardized set of metadata attributes to LastKnown minted tokens that speak to, the artist that minted the collection, the specific collection number that it was on LastKnown. Like, imagine a future where thousands of artists have done drops through the platform, and Babylon Misfits is the second drop, and Billion Buns is the first drop, and you want to be able to appreciate that, and that might actually lead to them being more valuable than other NFTs on the market. I mean, look at CryptoKitties and CryptoPunks and Bored Apes Yacht Club. A lot of those have value purely because of how early they were in a certain market cycle. And so adding those types of details to the NFTs so that they can be appreciated not only on marketplaces, but also on different like metaverse and third-party platform experiences. And then also really surfacing the IP rights that come with the purchase of, or the minting of that NFT. So, can the user just look at it to just have it as something pretty to look at, or do they have the rights to sub-license it and potentially generate revenue off of the underlying IP and artwork? And there's a third variant of the terms of sale we've constructed, which is kind of the most permissive, where it's like the person minting the token can do whatever they want with the underlying IP, and making those rights front and center and very easy for collectors to understand the value that they're getting when minting or purchasing one of these tokens from the various artists on the platform is something that's different about LastKnown NFTs as a whole, and something that we're looking to continue to evolve, right, as time goes on.
Awesome. Arco, did you have a question?
James 12 has his hand up. I'm wondering if we could go to him next.
Yeah, let's do that.
Awesome. I'll bring you up, James. I've invited. Maybe we can go to another question and see if he pops up onto our stage.
All right, cool. Okay, so my next question is mostly Dan, and then maybe SkooJAH. You could also chip in. So Dan, for LastKnown, and I see a few people are talking about, like what is in store for LastKnown. Like SkooJAH is your second artist, right? Like and you and I had a great chat this weekend. Where like I had never heard about SkooJAH before. I came into Billion Buns, and from his art, I became a huge fan. Right? What is the process of bringing amazing artists like SkooJAH on board? And not just that, like for the platform of LastKnown, what can the community expect from the platform itself?
Yeah, so that's a great question. It's something that I think we as a team are very open to exploring, and we're really focused on creating something that is unique and special within the space. We, just like you said, you came into LastKnown as a fan of Carson's work and Billion Buns, and by hanging around, you got a taste for SkooJAH's work, and now you're starting to appreciate some of his artwork too. And so that is really a great demonstration of what we're trying to build with LastKnown. We want to build this kind of cross-sectional community of content creators and artists and NFT collectors all under one roof, not specifically focused just on like one artist's collection or another artist's collection, but more focused on, the larger creative space and discovering quality work from different artists and being able to directly connect with those artists. And for the artists, being able to get your work exposure to a larger audience, and then also being able to directly connect with that audience. And so far, I haven't really seen anything, and there's a lot out there, right? So don't beat me up if I'm missing some projects, but so far I haven't seen anything that really goes after, what we're trying to do here with LastKnown by both providing artists a platform for minting their work and helping them to get to that point where something can be minted, but then also sort of supporting that through both marketing and a really strong community, and a community structured such that it can scale as more artists come into the family, so to speak. And right now, we've got SkooJAH and we've got Chairman Ting. We've got other artists we're working with as well. And as time goes on, it may get to a point where SkooJAH's following gets so big that it breaks off into its own Discord, or Carson's following gets so big that it breaks off into its own Discord. And if that happens, that's awesome. I mean, I see that as an indicator that we're really doing things right. But until that happens, we want to be able to incubate those kind of micro communities under the larger LastKnown umbrella, so that the artists don't feel like they have a bunch of additional homework to do now that they've set up their own Discord, because as people who run communities know, there's a lot of care and feeding that goes into running a Discord. And so we take on a lot of that for the artists to try to help build this larger community of both collectors and artists that span multiple collections and a variety of interests. And then once that artist community, typically when the community gets big enough, there'll be sort of members of the community who will volunteer to go set up that independent Discord, and be moderators for SkooJAH or for Carson or for whoever, and really own the maintenance and care and feeding of that channel. Until that happens, though, we have a home for everybody here in LastKnown, and we definitely want to build beyond just the visual medium as well. Like the visual medium is the one that has the most direct route to providing value for users today, but we're still looking at things like audio and 3D and metaverse and those types of opportunities, and working both with artists and other types of content creators to try to find ways to deliver value in those contexts as well. And that's where I think there's like a whole kind of blue sky around what we can do with LastKnown going forward, beyond helping artists to leverage the NFT medium as a means of delivering value to their users and growing their audience as a whole. As you've seen through some of the puzzles that have been released recently on LastKnown, and some of the stuff that I also hinted at over the weekend's AMA as well, we're looking to really do some interesting things at a crypto economic level around the NFTs that are minted on the LastKnown platform and what you can do with them, and sort of different ways that we can grow and scale that side of the platform. And so as we will have additional artists coming through and minting really awesome new collections on the platform, we plan to continue to evolve the utility and functionality of the NFTs that have been minted to date. And so that's something to keep an eye out for, and a good reason to hold on to a few of the LastKnown NFTs if you got them, because they will gain some additional abilities in the future and provide you additional utility and value. And we encourage people to stick around and see what kind of surprises we have in that respect.
That's awesome. Okay, so it looks like we have someone on stage.
Just brought Marshall up to the stage.
Okay, Marshall, you have a question? Okay, so while Marshall is figuring out his own mic, I have a few questions about rights for this project. Dan, SkooJAH, you might want to touch on this. What rights do people who are minting this project have?
Yeah, so SkooJAH, you want to speak to it, or you want me to?
I was going to say, Dan, well, I think you'd be better to speak to it. I mean, as an artist, how I would speak to it is I wanted to make sure that the collectors, the person who then is getting this IP is allowed to use it how they want to make some money, without destroying the original, the piece itself, which is, to me, is a really standard way that's been, hundreds of years of a normal thing. But Dan, you should explain the more logistics, legal side of it for sure.
Yeah, no, and it's exactly how SkooJAH described it too. Is that at LastKnown we have worked with legal to create kind of three different versions of the terms of sale. One that you can't do anything with. One that you're allowed to sub-license and earn some money off of the sales of, and another where you can kind of do whatever you want with it. And we really, the LastKnown team, when I say we really try to steer artists towards the, option B, which is that middle of the road option that doesn't give people just sort of a picture that they can look at, but also gives them something that they're able to monetize in the future if they'd like, in a way that doesn't, degrade the art or use it in an inappropriate way. A great example of the type of license that the sub-license allowed version represents is if I purchased a bunch of Babylon Misfits, let's say I managed to get 5 of each tribe, and then I wanted to create a series of T-shirts that had those tribe members on them, doing different things, or just hanging out, as the Magnifera and Sativum tribes. I would be able to do that and sell those T-shirts for $20 or whatever I want to do. Similarly, if someone saw that I had those Babylon Misfits and they were like, oh, the ones that you've collected are pretty cool, I would love to be able to take those and create a shirt or a coffee mug, or I want to create an animated series based on them. Me, as the NFT holder, I have the ability to sub-license the rights specifically around the tokens that I've minted to whoever it might be who's interested, so that they can do things with those visuals, and I can potentially earn revenue off of those as well. So it's cool that I have value in these tokens that can be leveraged in different contexts beyond just them looking cool. At the same time, the terms of sale does make it such that the artist has the protections of knowing that, those sub-licensable use cases are not going to fall into distasteful territory, let's call it. And there are some specific, clauses in the terms of sale that says, the types of use cases that are not allowed, things like hate speech or things in that vein are not allowed with the regardless of the sublicense. But as long as things are on the up and up, there's a lot of value, I think, in the middle of the road sublicense, and it's the same sublicense that Carson had chosen for his collection as well. And so that's another thing that is worth sharing with the community, is that we did hear the feedback from the community that the sublicense language on the current terms of sale for Billion Buns is not very clear to people, and so we did work with our legal team over the last 2 weeks to revise that language. You'll see the updated language on SkooJAH's collection when it rolls out tomorrow, but you'll also see the updated language in Billion Buns as well. Probably towards the end of next week, we'll update some of the metadata on the Billion Buns collection to reflect the updated terms of sale. That's more clear in terms of what you can do with the sub-license rights that users have, so that people can properly appreciate the value that they have in those NFTs.
That's awesome. Okay, it looks like we have a few hands up, so if you can do that. But I do have a question here for SkooJAH, and it looks like a few people are already asking this question. Any plans for the Misfits after the first draw, SkooJAH?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I think with this creative process, when you're halfway through creating the first collection, you're already starting to think about what you would do next, and how you can evolve the story. So yeah, I've got some plans in there already, and what I really want to accomplish with creating another set is, and this is why I like working with LastKnown, and Dan and I have been discussing this, and just certain ways of how you can get new NFTs or tokens and use them with what you have, so we can increase the rarity of general population Misfits versus the special 420. So that's the kind of thing I wanna start with, which is really cool. And I did have a good reach out from Gramps Morgan, if anybody saw, which was an idol of mine in the reggae world. I love Morgan heritage, and so that was pretty cool. And we discussed doing something where I could bring him into it, similar to what CryptoPunks have done, and other collections. I know for sure. It's just a fun way to collaborate and bring everybody in. Everybody's new, so it's just a fun collaborative thing, and that is already, the ball is already rolling down the hill. I just haven't hit the uphill part yet, so we'll see how that goes.
It's funny because I didn't know who Graham Morgan was, SkooJAH, until you had mentioned that on one of our discussions. Then I checked out his page and his music. Very cool. And so it was an awesome introduction for me to Graham Morgan, and it would be cool to see him be more part of the community, and especially part of a upcoming collection.
No, same. I saw that. I saw that on Twitter. So that was actually my next question. That's cool. Marshall,
really? I took one, eh?
Marshall, you got a question for SkooJAH?
All right. Thank you guys for bringing me here.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks. Big shout out to you guys. I love this art. This is just awesome. Dan, I completely agree with you, what you're talking about. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. I have a few questions from my perspective, because as I mentioned in the MA chat, like, we have beautiful art, let's say. We can scale up this really big, let's say, in the future. Like, all the guys listening at the moment, please do understand that NFTs are not only like we collecting art, the utilities and community and the bonds which we can create together in the future, which you can connect, which you can also 100%. Connect in the real life and whatever. That it's gonna scale up. Let's say I'm here, basically I'm gonna mint and I'm gonna hold it, and
yes,
I wanna see. Yeah, I wanna see from where we go from there on. My questions were like, first one was about the metaverse. Like, if we will get some small of budget to create sort of small gallery or whatever, that brings attention. That is the first one, let's say.
Yeah. So let me speak to that one, and so metaverse is definitely something we're very interested in, and it's part of some of the metadata improvements that we were actually just discussing this morning tie into metaverse aspirations, because we want to be able to, in the context of a metaverse or any third-party like Web3 application, be able to pull in the rich data around each of these works of art that's required to display it with the sort of gravitas it deserves. And that includes things like, who the artist is, what the license type is, what number collection was it from LastKnown, that type of thing. I've been talking to some of my friends in the metaverse space that have some plots available that they've already secured, and would love for us to do a sort of gallery showing type thing in the metaverse. And so what we need to figure out from the LastKnown perspective is, how to take that to the next level, if you will. Like, having a bunch of people in the metaverse looking at a gallery is cool, but I would love to do something that sort of, takes it to the next level, gives people the ability to earn like a POAP, which is a proof of attendance token, and potentially something where users who have acquired a proof of attendance token might get an airdrop, and maybe we work with one of our artists to create a special collection that only those users are able to access. But that's definitely something that I think is a perfect fit for what we're doing at LastKnown, being able to showcase the work in Decentraland, and adding a twist to that makes it unique to LastKnown and a little bit more fun and a little bit more engaging is something that we definitely plan on doing.
Great, thank you for answering that. Also, I appreciate that you guys creating this sort of puzzle that people can solve and everything. It makes really original approach, let's say. And I think, it has big potential for the future. My
Thank you.
second question was tokenomics. I know a bunch of people are new to NFT space and DAO space and blockchain, but tokenomics is something basically of holding your NFT in order to receive a tokens, or you can exchange them in the future for something else. Maybe you're gonna guys blend something post COVID period, like we're gonna meet in real life, we're gonna do some, I don't know. There is a lot of things which you can do with blockchain that's just insane. It's shaping the world. But have you guys considered tokenomics in the future?
Yes, for sure. And we so we work with artists to consider kind of tokenomics within each individual collection, right? To make sure that they're not creating too many or too little. And that's also from the perspective of amount of work that they're creating for themselves, right? Like a lot of artists might see these 10,000 or multi-thousand collections out there and say, well, I'll do 10,000. Everybody else is doing 10,000. But I think as artists get into the actual work of it, they realize, doing 10,000 in a way that meets their quality standard is very difficult. And so we encourage them to, scale the tokens to something relative that they feel like they can deliver while still being unique and preserving the quality of their own brand. So that's why a lot of the drops are a bit more bespoke and smaller in size on LastKnown. Now, at a larger sort of LastKnown platform tokenomics level, there's definitely stuff we have cooking in that respect. We certainly have plans for these tokens to be able to do more in the future, both in respect to potentially getting you access to things either in the metaverse or in the real world, as well as potentially providing you channels for other sort of crypto economic incentives. Like, what if, I'm not saying that we're doing this or that we're not doing this, but like imagine if you could stake any LastKnown NFT and earn rewards of some kind for doing that. Imagine if you could get into special pop-up gallery events in the real world as long as you present a LastKnown NFT at the door. Those are definitely types of things that we're exploring. COVID makes it harder to do the real world stuff, as you know, right? And we definitely want to keep everybody safe. But certainly taking these NFTs beyond just an NFT collection and that you can buy and sell on OpenSea is something that we want to do. And that also includes like the puzzle aspect of things. Like we might start developing smart contracts that require you to have a certain number of LastKnown NFTs in order to participate in the puzzle or something like that. There's just so much we can do that we're really trying to figure out, what are the things that the community are responding positively to. Like the puzzle last week, the community really responded really well to, and looking at ways that we can capitalize and leverage those types of opportunities further to really create something unique to the space that you're not going to find anywhere else.
Yeah, thank you for that, Dan.
Yeah.
Completely agree with you. And of course, we need to also work in our budget, let's say, and from there on scale it up. And you guys doing really great job, I would say. My last thing is, whoever is listening now, diamond's hands here. Don't sell it. Don't flip it. You should hold this one. It's beautiful art. And thank you for having me. I'm going back to audience.
Thanks very much, Marshall.
Yeah,
Thanks, Marshall.
Wise words.
excellent.
Very wise owl. Questions for Scooch?
Yes, I just recently discovered this NFT a few days ago, and I just automatically fell in love with it. It's so unique. It looks
Wise owl microphone check. There you go.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Oh, okay, but yeah, so I just
Can hear you.
Oh, okay, thanks. I just recently discovered this NFT a few days ago, so I don't know too much about it, but it's so unique and I love it. And I was wondering if there's any more whitelist spots for it.
Well, that'd be a good question for Dan.
Unfortunately, the whitelist closed just yesterday, so the whitelist for this drop is closed. But There has been a lot of really good collaboration between artists so far on the LastKnown platform, and so there's, I'm not going to speak for SkooJAH, and we'll have to see what the next drop is on the platform. We're obviously working on it in the background, but we haven't shared that publicly yet. But there may be opportunities for users who own a Babylon Misfit to automatically be whitelisted for the next drop. That's something that we'll work with the artists to see if they can collaborate in that way. But for tomorrow's drop, the whitelist closed just yesterday, so you just missed it. But there will be more opportunity.
Oh, okay. That's all right. And so there's no way to get this other than the whitelist on the launch day?
There is a public sale, so if it doesn't sell out in the pre-sale phase, you'll be able to get it in the public sale phase. And this collection does have more tokens than Carson's collection, so there's probably a better chance of being able to scoop it up in the public sale phase. But that opens on Wednesday, and so that's what you'll want to look out for, and anybody can mint in that phase.
Roger, thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah. Thanks for liking the art too, and good luck. Good luck on the public sale.
Okay. No, there's been great questions so far. So, Skooj, tell us, is there anything else? Like I said, I know you had mentioned, that there might be a few more things coming up. But is there anything you might be able to share, like anything concrete right now?
Well, as to say, nothing in writing, a lot of back and forth with people. But I've also, just this, what I love about this community and what I love about this collection is the more people I talk to, the more open people are to seem to want to be a part of it. And that's I had a conversation the other day with a good friend of mine who has a cannabis company that is out of Jamaica, and that's the kind of thing we're trying to work on, a deal where having and owning a Babylon Misfit will get you utilities like that to other things. And that's really trying to bring in Gramps and working with Gramps Morgan. We'll be able to, we'll be able to build up the awareness of it. And, that's really a big thing. It's kind of been in the last couple of weeks, I'm just astounded by how many people are reaching out to me. So, and there are people I admire and companies I like. And so I'm just trying to figure things out, and I will make sure I let everybody know when I can in details of what is to come. Once they all sell, if you've looked at the roadmap, the first thing is I still in the design phase of pins and hoodies. So, and that's something I'd like the community to maybe help out in decisions. So that would, that would be the most recent thing. But there's a lot that I'm amazed about that's going to be happening this year, just for the Misfits alone and for everybody in the community.
Absolutely, yeah. Put me down for a pin, definitely. And Dan, in our conversation, I think you and I had discussed making sure that the LastKnown platform can be set up to get things like pins and hoodies, or just even have conversations with the artists, right? Just say, for example, I want to do something special with my own NFT, right? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So that's something that that has been an ask from the artist side for all of the artists on the platform so far, right? Is making it easier for artists to sort of fulfill additional value adds that they want to associate with the tokens. Like, for example, and I'm just making this up as an example, like if SkooJAH wanted to make it so that anybody who got one of the leaders of the two tribes in the Babylon Misfits collection got a free hoodie, he would have to set up some kind of form for them to come and, provide all their shipping info. He'd have to provide a way for them to prove that they have one of the leaders. And then also there's the flip side of that where, once someone has redeemed that free hoodie for a leader type thing, and then they go try to list that leader on a secondary market. It needs to be clear that the hoodie behind that token has been redeemed. So creating a mechanism that not only makes it easy for users who have participated in a LastKnown minting to come to a page within LastKnown and claim their reward, in having that page and the LastKnown technology stack do the lifting of validating that the reward has not already been used, collecting the data that the artist needs in order to fulfill the physical delivery, and providing that information to the artist and connecting the artist with the person seeking the delivery so that they can send them a tracking number or whatever it might be in the end. Those are things that I think would not only add value to the platform, but would make it a lot easier for users who are seeing artists that want to provide hats or pins or signed prints, for understanding how they go about redeeming those things. And then also an easy way for, if I'm looking at one of the leaders on OpenSea and it's a really good deal, and I'm like, oh, I want to pick this up because I could get an awesome hoodie of, I could get the hoodie that goes along with the leader. I can come to LastKnown and check based on the collection and token ID to see what perks are still available for that token. So that if someone has already redeemed the hoodie and then goes and sells me the leader, I have a way of checking to see if that hoodie has been redeemed or not, so that instead of paying 5 ETH for the leader because there's still a hoodie perk attached to it, I might only be willing to pay 2 or 3 ETH because that hoodie perk has been used. So providing a mechanism not only for artists to easily kind of deliver on the add-ons that they want to provide with their collection, but also for, on the other side, NFT collectors to validate what, if any, add-ons still exist for the tokens they're interested in purchasing, are definitely two sides of a coin that we're trying, two sides of a feature, right, that we want to add to the LastKnown platform.
That's awesome. Thank you. G Spoons, questions for SkooJAH or Dan?
You're muted, G Spoons.
Okay, so while G Spoons figures out his or her mic situation, let's do some housekeeping. So we've got the private sale going down tomorrow, right, Dan? And then the public sale on a Wednesday, correct?
That's correct.
Awesome. SkooJAH, the first AMA we had, you had discussed, and this is just me vibing actually. You had discussed, maybe after the pandemic, having people who own the NFTs maybe come up Toronto for a concert or something like that. Is that something that you might still be working on? Because I'm out here in Vancouver, and any reason for me to come out and hang out with people who have this NFT, I want to take a big part in that. So, are these the kind of things that you're trying to do to help build the community? And basically, does this also have links to the theme of the how you basically develop the Misfits?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, 100%, Demi. I mean, yeah, like who doesn't like a good party, right? I always do, and for years I've had an annual party, and it's just a blast to get people together, even if it's only once a year or once every now and again. It's just a lot of fun, and going along with the Babylon Misfits, yeah, they end up, if it is these two tribes, these two tribes that come together, both peaceful and looking out for everybody else. Once they came together and realized that they're exactly the same, it's put on some good roots and then have your spliffs, and the rest of the night is just good vibes only, right? So that's kind of, I would love to recreate that in real life. I just think it'd be awesome, and that's I'll reach out to people I know within reggae community in Toronto, and we have talked about places. I mean, it's totally TBD, but it is something that for sure I want to do. And as an owner, maybe there'll be some hidden perks for people, and we'll see if there's journey is wide open, and we've got a lot to do. It's just going to be fun.
Well, and just to add to that too, like something that LastKnown as a platform wants to do as well is have those same kinds of events where the community can get together either in a virtual space or preferably in a physical space. And I think that's what's so cool about what we're building here is that imagine and I've been to some of these before, so if you haven't been to one, I can tell you what it's like. But imagine going to like a gathering of people who have Bored Apes Yacht Club NFTs, right? There's not a whole lot to do at that type of gathering because it's only one type of art, these apes. Everybody's already minted it. You might be talking about like what cool stuff the community might be able to do in the future, but as a whole, like you're not going to go to one of those events and necessarily see or hear anything typically that's earth-shattering or really exciting or new. With what we're building here, with a community of multiple collectors and multiple artists, you could come to a LastKnown event and there could be all kinds of cool stuff we could do. We could have on-the-spot mintings that we've worked out with artists that are extremely limited in number, that are only available to people who have physically attended. We can have different physical merchandise that we have worked with artists to tie to NFTs through QR codes or embedded near-field communication chips that allow you to associate, this hoodie with this digital NFT on the blockchain because we've worked to have NFC chips sewn into the actual hoodie so you can scan it with an application we develop and then see the NFT that it's tied to. I mean, there's just so much cool stuff that we can do based on the community that we're building here and how it's different than other communities that are just based around, one project or one art collection that no other community can do. And those are the types of things that I think are really exciting for us to be able to explore. We can also do, very collection specific Babylon Misfits type event, and really gear it towards the different gangs that, exist in that world and have those types of fun events. But then we can also do more, umbrella events where we get, Andrew or SkooJAH and Carson and other artists that we're working with on the platform to develop limited runs or develop collaborative collections that you're only going to be able to get through physical attendance or through attending in the metaverse, that kind of thing. And that's a space that I'm really excited to explore because with the other plans we have for LastKnown around how we can make all the different NFTs that you collect and can possibly mint through LastKnown sort of part of a larger family that can provide additional value adds and incentives to their holders is something that's constantly on my mind, right? And so making the artists successful in their own independent right while also still building a really unique and one-of-a-kind community of collectors and creators at another level are things that I'm really excited about.
Awesome. Looks like G Spoons is good for a question. Thanks, Dan.
Let's see if hopefully it works now. I haven't had to play with Discord microphone for a while because I don't know the last time I did an AMA, but I'm really excited to be here. Sounds like a great community. I love the way everyone's speaking. Dan, you got me pumped, and I really am excited for tomorrow. And it's going to be a great time. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
I just wanted to ask you a question, if you don't mind. I mean, I know we're at the beginning of this year and we're doing this project. Will there be any other AMAs that we could look forward to, or will there be any other sort of community discussions like this after the project? I'm just trying to think about all the different ideas I could do when I get my piece tomorrow, because I want to make T-shirts, and I just want to know what I'm able to do. So maybe I'll get ideas from other people or from yourself, and just want to get the ball rolling and get excited.
Yeah, thanks for coming up. And SkooJAH, you want to go first?
Yeah, I was just going to say that sounds amazing. But no, Dan, you take it. You got a good answer. I know you do.
Yeah. Thanks for coming up to the stage, and yeah, there's definitely a lot of cool stuff that is yet to come for the Babylon Misfits crew. I think that we definitely have more AMAs planned, and I think that what may start to evolve, especially as we get more of a community of NFT holders going. Like right now it's just the Billion Buns folks, but soon it'll also be Babylon Misfits, and we'll be adding to that. And so I think that what we may start doing on some sort of regular cadence, that I'm not sure exactly what that cadence is yet, but I'll figure it out, is getting together with the LastKnown community as a whole and seeing, given the different collections that are evolving and the types of events, puzzles, or scavenger hunt type things that we're offering to the community, how they would like to see things grow and evolve. Is everybody really eager to be able to claim signed posters from a given artist's collection, or are people more interested in being able to, get together in a virtual or preferably real space, right, and get to know a bit more about some of your fellow community members, right? And so really listening to what the community is looking for in terms of how we can provide the most value and the most unique and rewarding experience is something that we're constantly trying to keep an ear to the ground for. And so definitely will be more AMAs, and definitely will be additional ways that you can use not only your Babylon Misfit, but also your Billion Bun as time goes on. And in future drops and collections that SkooJAH and potentially other artists do, there may be further value adds within those as well, because we really do try to encourage the artists to collaborate as much as possible. And as we get more of those artists sort of minted on the platform and understanding the whole process that goes into a minting, so that when, let's say, Carson and SkooJAH are working together, they both know how much work they're signing up for. That's where I think there can be some really exciting stuff developed from an art perspective as well. Because imagine SkooJAH and Carson styles coming together for a collection that could be unique and something that you're only going to find on LastKnown, right? And so those are things that I think we'll explore.
Yeah, I was just going to add G Spoons from a personal perspective on that. I mean, it is nice to talk to the community, and that's one thing I really enjoy about this NFT community. And I have no problems, and I would like to see. For years I've brainstormed with other people to come up with great stuff that's even more fun. And as a community, everybody needs to get involved in certain ways. So I'm all for AMAs in the future and moving through and decisions on what happens with the Babylon Misfits.
Thank you. I see there's a lot of people that are waiting, and I won't take up too much time, but I'll just say that I really am most impressed by the transparency, the involvement, I love the art. It's not something you see too often.
Thanks, man.
It's cool. It resonates with me with a lot of the it's almost like it's cartoony, but it's a different touch, and I'm really happy to be in this. So the energy is fantastic, and let's keep it up. Thank you.
Sweet.
Thanks so much. Awesome.
Thank you. I think we got Bex Williams trying to come up on stage.
I'll try to bring him up.
Thank you.
There we go.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sure can.
Okay, perfect. So I haven't been the one who has been in art. I just found out I started the NFT journey maybe a couple of weeks ago. And as I said, I was looking at on OpenSea, and then I stumbled across the whole collection. I'm like, damn, I need to get me this. And I just want to say I'm stoked, as I told SkooJAH. to be part of this, and I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm really stoked to be part of this because I can see this as part of my in my apartment as a display. Hopefully, I am hoping to be able to have that done, turn it into like a display and stuff. Because I think they're wicked.
Cool.
Yeah, sweet. Well, I'd like to do some, and thanks for saying something, Bex. It's like I can see the future where, yeah, if you're going to use this, and what I'd really like to develop more in coming collections, like I'm so excited for this one, and just for you to know how much I'm thinking forward is, I would like adding more in animation and motion design into them,
Okay.
so you can really keep. I mean, what I tried to do with this collection artistically is keep it like it's a collector card from the 70s or 80s or something.
Right.
It just seems to be old, but it's brand new and fresh in a brand new, fresh medium, right?
Yeah, it is definitely
So
unique.
it takes, yeah. So yeah, thanks, man. So a lot more to come. That'll be even better for your wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers. Thanks, man. All the best.
And
Yeah, you
respect.
too. Thanks.
I'm excited. I'm hoping to get mine on my office wall too. So I'm very, very excited about this drop. I want to be very mindful of the time, SkooJAH. I want to open it up to you just to talk about, anything you want to talk about now. Yeah, man, it's been such a pleasure talking to you over the past few weeks. I'm stoked. I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great success. But I want to give you the last word, man.
All right. No more questions then, or but
How are we looking? We're good.
Yeah, I think we've got to most of them, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. No. I mean, from a personal note, I mean, this has been a long journey. This has been a long journey for me, getting these characters to this play, to where it is in this NFT medium. I mean, it's if I was drawing these characters 15 years ago, I just didn't have this medium to allow them, to be out there, to be able to create what this collection is, and to really bring, the I always believe the good out, the good in, right? So I just want to bring something basically that makes people smile and just induces good vibes, and that's really it. And it's a collection of they're theys. There's so many different characters within here that when you get a misfit, you got just one unique NFT. But I look at it at a bigger scale of you can look at people like that when you're out and about and say everybody's unique, so and they're all worth something, right? And from collecting the NFTs, we all hope these are just gonna keep growing and growing, and that's what I want to do, bring the community together, and we can make it happen. So thanks everybody for being here today. It's great talking to you all.
SkooJAH, we might have one more person. Hold on, we're trying to get this person up.
Aha!
I think it's SW Page. I just want to make sure we make sure everyone, and I see Cam Dubs as well. So apologize. I'm trying to get everyone up.
I'll bring Cam Dubs in now.
Right on. No worries.
To ping the previous person.
Yeah, I got time.
Just trying to make sure we get in to everyone. So Cam underscore Dubs. Just accept the invite from Oracle, and you'll be up on stage. There we go. Let's go.
Thanks, guys. SkooJAH, it's Cam. How are you?
Welcome, buddy.
I'm very proud of you, sir. For everyone who's listening, SkooJAH and I have worked together previously in a professional capacity, making the money for the man. And I just want to say that I'm very excited about this launch tomorrow, and I'm very proud of you, sir. I'm glad your work has or will touch so many people. I've been very fortunate enough to work with SkooJAH over many years, and the man is a beautiful human being, and as you can see from the sneak peeks, an extremely talented individual. So you've earned this,
Making
my
me
friend,
cry.
and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, I appreciate everybody's support. Yeah, it's been a long journey. So it's been a long journey.
Yes.
Cam was probably in boardrooms when I was doodling some of the originals, which is one of the perks. Once holding a Babylon Misfit, I'm going to be. We're going to be doing some raffles for a lot of the ink drawings. Really nice ink on paper, and I think most of my times in an office environment, I would have rather been doing that than anything else. So, but thanks for the nice words, Cam.
All right, brother.
Good luck.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. SW Page, what's up?
Hey, what's up, guys? You guys took me
Hey, how's it
forever to
going,
get
man?
on today. You guys must know I'm calling from the States. But just two-part question. I'm going to be real quick, and I think it's kind of important. One is community. You kind of touched on that aspect, and I came upon you guys' project just by searching, and I fell in love with some of the art. Now, I buy NFTs for two reasons. One, the art, and one, based on where it's going, the roadmap, things like that. I have a lot of NFTs. I keep the stock photo because I just like it for some reason. But the question I had was for SkooJAH is that if there's ever opportunity, like if you run another set here coming up after, the first one that we do tomorrow, if you think about maybe raffling off or doing one of one where we could work with you to make a misfit of our own or collaborate with you, I think that would be a very cool idea. And the other one was for the community. I came upon you guys, and when I get into the room, sometimes there's a lot of dialogue, sometimes there isn't. Is there anything that you guys are going to put into effect that makes more people come back, like raffles or doing things that are incentives of owning these pieces of art? I know that you guys are talking about getting together in Vancouver and things like that. I live in Michigan, so getting across the border with everything going on in Canada is going to be tough. So that's all I really had to say, and I just wanted to pick your brain in regards to getting people traffic, bringing more people back. And that's about it.
Okay, well, thanks, SW Page. Man, it's good questions. Yeah, that border thing, that's hilarious. But we'll see. As things open up, we're talking down, and the pandemic is what it is. So, there's always rocks, always ways around the big heavy rock. So, but from a what remind me your first question you were asking. Just remind me what your first question was.
If you do another series of art, NFTs that maybe work with, do a special one-on-one, a raffle. If you buy, one of the NFTs that we could work with you, or do something of that nature. I think that would be incredible. I think that would spark a lot of interest with a lot of people having a chance to work and do something of their own. I have a lot of NFTs. I put them on my wall, so I thought it would be something cool that one of the artists could do.
Oh, 100%. And that's really what I was talking about before. And that's what I was going to interrupt you, but I let you go on because I wanted to answer that because for sure. That's what I want to build into as I move forward. I don't want to just do something that's completely brand new. And I have talked with Dan and with LastKnown, this is what I like is there's the opportunity to, explore what you can do as an NFT, right? So what can I do and how can holders, trade theirs in and get like a totally different one or be able to upgrade it into a new club, a new tribe or something like that. So that's what I really want to do. And within that, I think they're the perfect opportunities to open up that conversation and get some ideas from the community, what people would like to see, right? And that's really, that starts to build up, the value in the word and it gives you something to come back and to come back to Discord and explore, right? Did you have an answer to anything, Dan?
Yeah, I can add to that just in terms of the community and bringing people back and building more reasons for people to come back. That's definitely depends on the time of day that you visit and where people are at in the world with their days. Like it is a very global community now, so you're going to find some people who are just starting their day and saying good morning while others are saying good night and stuff. And so it really depends when you catch the community. Most of the chat happens in general chat, but we do have kind of sub communities that are slowly forming. Like BB Holders chat is one that's pretty busy, but it's mostly focused on people who've got a billion bun and what they want to see happen in that universe. A similar sort of sub community will form once the Babylon Misfits drop. Will create similar rooms to BB Holders for Misfits holders to collaborate and discuss. And certainly at like a LastKnown level, both with the scavenger hunts and the puzzles, but also with the different sort of utility that we're planning to sort of paint all of the NFTs from the LastKnown platform with. We think that's going to even further incentivize people to be coming back, to be holding, and to be participating in the different sort of crypto activities that you'll be able to do with these tokens. And so it's definitely not all just going to be real world events. I'm actually here in Maryland in the States. I'm one of the few people in the States on the team. And so I definitely feel your pain when it comes to trying to get across the border, and even just meeting people in real life is challenging at the moment. So we want to create ways for the community to engage, outside of Discord, but in ways that are still safe and fun. And so I think really the first thing you'll see in that respect is something in Decentraland, either through just a place we can get together and kind of showcase some of the work, to potentially something that's even more unique, where not only do you get a POAP or like a proof of attendance token, but maybe you get some unique one-of-one artwork for everybody who attends that type of event. So those are things that we definitely plan on doing and want to be doing as we go forward. We just wanted to start by establishing a base of quality content and a community that has an appreciation for that content, which I think we're well on the path to. And now that we've got, a critical mass of people who are interested in us taking this to the next level, that's exactly what we'll be doing, right? So if you're not part of the email newsletter yet, I would highly recommend you sign up for that. That's where we share a lot of these things that we might come up with that, you might dip into the Discord, you might go away for a week, but then you get an email talking about the Decentraland event we'll be hosting that's only available to people with certain tokens, or that will be rewarding people with certain tokens for attending. And so that's something that, if for everybody in the audience, if you're not part of the email newsletter, I highly recommend you follow along with that. And so doing things that help to build up the community and provide unique experiences for community members beyond just collecting the tokens is definitely something that is part of the roadmap. So just hang in there a little bit longer and let us get through just a few more artists minting. And even before probably the third or fourth one, you'll start to see some more events and activities that are for the community as a whole. So that's kind of a little bit of a sneak peek for what's in the roadmap.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thanks, SWPage. Okay, that's it. Thank you. We're excited again. Private drop tomorrow and public drop on Wednesday. Dan, any last words?
I just want to thank everybody for coming out as always. I'm sorry for the dog barks in the background, but stuck here at home. Appreciate everybody taking the time to listen in. I hope everybody participates in the pre-sale tomorrow. If you were able to get onto the whitelist, or if you're a Billion Buns holder that was able to get onto the whitelist, and the public sale starts on Wednesday. And then hang out in LastKnown to see what we've got coming next, because both in addition to awesome artists and the art that they bring to the platform, we have a lot of our own very unique games, puzzles, ideas to further evolve and grow this community beyond just artists that are bringing their awesome skills to the platform. So excited for people to come on that journey with us.
Some SkooJAH?
Yeah, I just want to say thanks again, everybody, for listening in. It's fun. I like to share what's going through my head, and I hope I gave enough hints that there's a lot of things going to be happening in the future, and I'm excited for the Babylon Misfits to keep growing. So, thanks once again, everyone.
Thank you all. Have a great day, and we'll all see you back in the Discord chat rooms.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good one.
Thank you.